Doing detective work means you gotta walk the walk. No, I mean... literally. I need to search high... low for evidence. My intuition tells me that something very interesting is about to happen. Doing detective work means you gotta walk the walk. No, I mean literally. I need to search high and low for evidence.
Inazuma. So many things have happened since then. Yeah, we've definitely made some progress on our journey. So, where should we go today? Huh? Oop. Hey! What the heck was that for? Doesn't want to talk, huh? All right, let's convince him to calm down a little.
Fracture! Yeah.
Stabilize!
Huh. I wonder which criminal mastermind just protested their lie.
So you don't have a vision after all. Seems like I've mistaken some.
At the very least, you should make sure you've got... No, wait! Even when you've got the right person.
Have you ever met someone by the name of Kaedahara Kazuha? He carries a sword just like you. I've also heard that he possesses an animo vision. That's none of your business. Never mind. You don't look like you know anything anyway. I'm wasting my...
What the heck is this guy's problem? Coming around here, waving that weird sword in our faces? Well, one thing's for sure. No way are we telling him anything about Kazuha. Right? Paimon has a feeling, though, that even if this guy gets to challenge Kazuha to a duel, he won't be able. Anyway, just to be on the safe side, we should go fight Kazuha right away. Oh? What kind of hunch? A special connection? You mean beyond already knowing each other? Yeah, maybe a little. But then again, anyway, there's no time to lose. Let's go tell Kazuha so we won't get into any danger. Paimon heard that the Crux fleet is stocking up in Rito at the moment. Let's look for him there. Hello? Do you know where Kazuha is?
You're looking for Kazuha too, huh? Guess he must have done something impressive after all. Well, we took the small vessels into Rito on a routine supply run, only this time, as soon as we entered the harbor, we ran into a... If it's because of that battle on Nizuchi Beach, Captain Beto had a great run there too, but I don't see her getting this kind of attention. Kazuha keeps to himself most of the time. In fact, there are times when he doesn't even listen to the...
Oh, so you still...
I've heard bits and pieces. It's something about him blocking the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. Is it really as big a deal as everyone's making it out to be? Really? Wow. When you put it like that, it all makes sense. He was called away earlier by some people from the Tenryo Commission. They said I thought they'd come to arrest him at first. Turns out they couldn't have been friendlier to him.
Just a little while ago, this would have been complete... Thank you! Guess...
All right then.
Oh? It's you.
Greetings. We were just discussing the repealing of the Vision Hunt decree. We invited Mr. Kaidahara here to extend a gesture of goodwill your has secured for us the agreed state of affairs that we enjoy. So, I've been granted the chance to fix my clan's past mistakes. The Almighty Shogun has issued a large array of directives aimed at resolving, or at least easing the tension. The Tri-Commission has made the recommendation to use this opportunity to restore the honor of the Kaidahara name. Regarding the history of the Kaidahara clan, I trust that you're already somewhat... In short, there was once a group of select bladesmiths who served the Shogun directly, responsible for upholding and further developing, but there came a... We later learned that the whole misadventure had been secretly orchestrated by the Fatui, attributing all of the blame to the Kamisato. Considering Mr. Kaidahara has once more made an outstanding contribution to Inazuma, the Almighty Shogun, in the interest of preventing of Smith...
This is true.
I can assure you... Aston. With the Kaidahara clan's reputation and occupation restored, the Kaidaharas will be bladesmiths once more, and your wanderings will find you will be able to lead a safe and prosperous life in Inazuma City with the Almighty Shogun's blessing and full support of the Shogunate.
I have grown accustomed to life among the elements. I fear I would no longer feel at home behind the tall walls of a stately abode. Yet my ancestors did indeed take great pride in the name of Kaidahara, and the art of blade making for which it stood.
I sense some hesitation in your words. Should you accept this offer, I imagine many of the malicious rumors currently circulating through the
Malicious rumors? All we heard on the way here was so much
Well, to some, the Muso no Hitotachi is something that can never be defeated. Also, eyewitnesses saw him using the power of Electro in addition to that of Animo. As a result, the falsehood that Kaidahara Kazuha was using a delusion began to spread.
What? But that doesn't make sense.
That is correct. However, to some people, the idea of a single person wielding two elements...
This is just one of many similar rumors. I am very uncomfortable with being the subject of public discussion. But perhaps if the Shogunate is willing to publicly support me, this
is precisely why I encourage you to give our offer some serious thought.
Please, in fact, let us put this discussion on hold for the moment. Well then...
Yikes! We knew...
Why would such a dangerous individual be looking for me? No. My fighting forms were taught to me by my family, based on techniques originally developed for blade testing. We undergo rigorous training to standard. Over time, these techniques came to form something of a Kaidahara sword art, focused on blade testing, but with a full repertoire of combat forms. Those forms are quite different from the more practical ones typically used by samurai in battle. So it's hard to imagine that the similarity...
All the more reason to watch your back!
Indeed. He sounds highly aggressive. Anyone he targets is at risk...
In that case, I will send some men out immediately to search for him.
Thank you. I must say I am now very curious about this matter, and I will also need some time to consider your... I will first join the Traveler in investigating the one who attacked him, then give you a...
Very well. Please stay safe.
Come on. Let's go and track down your aggressor.
The detective agency knows the most about what goes on in town. Let's see what Ryuji has to say.
Welcome to Bonton Sangha Detective Agency. What will you have me solve?
Hey there! We'd like to ask you a quick question. Do you know if anyone around here has been looking for...
Aha! So this is the renowned Mr. Kaedehara. I've heard a lot about...
You are too kind. We are currently investigating an...
Oh? You were targeted in an assault? Mr. Kaedehara is currently the talk of the town. To be honest with you, our detective agency has recently been receiving many inquiries from people wishing to... Some of them were offering us millions of mora just to gather the information they want. If these were more legitimate commissions, Sangha would have snapped...
Millions? Of Mora? Whoa! Oh,
Please, accept my thanks for looking out for my...
Of course. No matter what, we only take on legitimate cases. We don't make our money by revealing details of other... Sorry, I got a little off topic. What I'm really trying to say is, it doesn't surprise me that a complete stranger is looking for Mr. Kaedehara. But I wouldn't know where to begin if we want to connect this with an assault.
Then let's put that connection aside for now. Have there been any other attacks or similar incidents recently that the Tenryou Commission had leads?
It's true commissioners aren't good about everything. If anyone are attacking people, that would be assault. In
uh-oh. Looks like the run cold.
I still find it difficult to believe that whoever attacked you hasn't been causing any trouble elsewhere. Few people possess your prowess in battle. So unless you were the first person he targeted, someone is certain to have been hurt by now. I am well aware of your talents. There is no need to be humble around me. In fact, I'm quite relieved that you... It would cause me great grief to see someone become critically injured, or for the poor victim, this would be a
Don't worry, we'll find him.
It seems you are every bit the selfless hero like you out, Mr. Kaidehara. Actually, there was one strange incident. Let me tell you about it just...
Sure.
All right then. Recently, one of them is a pretty well-known...
Amenoma. Now there's a familiar name.
Right. Yuya is the nephew of Amenoma Togo, the owner of Amenoma. Two grown men going missing at the same time. Their cases are likely connected. I recalled this because Amenoma Yuya is also an accomplished martial artist who is skilled with the blade. Perhaps he is the one you are looking for.
Understood, though it seems highly unlikely to me. I neither know this man, nor do I have any idea.
Sure, can't hurt. We never know what we might find out along the way.
Thank you, Ryuji. We'll start by making some inquiry.
Sounds good. All the best.
Ah, if it isn't Kaedehara Kazuha.
Yes, the Kaedehara and Amenoma clans were both members of the Raiden Gokaden. After I returned to Inazuma, I visited Mr. Amenoma to pay my respects. Let me quickly explain. The Raiden Gokaden was the collective term for the 5 most acclaimed bladesmithing arts in Inazuma. The techniques of blade making were personally bequeathed to the Raiden Gokaden by the almighty Shogun, and over time, further honed and enhanced. Unfortunately, a series of events led to the gradual decline of many clans in the bladesmithing trade. Today, only the Amenoma clan.
So sad.
It is a great pity indeed. In the old days, we each had our specialties. And as an example, the Amenoma art strives to emulate the abiding patience. There is nothing mystical to our work. There is only practice, day in and day out, until both body and mind have memorized the craft. As for the art of the Kaedehara clan, I believe it's called...
That's right. Ishin art strives for complete harmony between blade and mind from the moment that forging begins. For only a blade thus forged can capture and convey its maker's thoughts and feelings, and eventually become an extension.
Indeed. Most samurai choose their blades. You are, without a doubt, the most worthy wielder of an Ishin blade. It gladdens my heart to see that although the Kaedehara clan has fallen on hard times, its ideals and virtues are alive. Well.
You overestimate me. My actions are guided by my own sentiments, not noble aspiration on behalf of my clan. But let's get back on topic. The purpose of our visit today is to gather... We hope to assist with the investigation.
Ah, yes. He didn't say a word, but I've done...
We heard that...
Yes. I believe he went to collect the eye... Yes. Straight. If I had to guess, it must have been some kind of rare weapon. He's never been... He is
Truth be told, based on the
What? He is humble. Yes. But I also cannot... Anyway...
Don't worry. You have our word.
From the sound of that, Paimon doesn't...
Yes. It sounds as if something Let's pay a
I'm very sorry, but we cannot afford to pay what we owe right now. My husband has gone missing, and I'm still trying to find...
No, you misunderstand us. We are here to help with the investigation. We'd like to ask you some questions about Mr. Nagato's disappearance, if we may.
Ah, I see. I thought the debt collectors had come to visit again. I'm sorry you have to see me in this dreadful state. Has some new information come out? Do you know where...
I'm afraid we don't have any new With this in mind, can we...
For example, Paimon's struggling to...
That's a long story. He'd always get so animated when he was showing them to me. I knew nothing about the items myself, but seeing how everything was fine when we first got married. But as time went by, he lost his sense of restraint. He started buying more and more things, and even resorted to Our expenses really spiraled out of control when he started getting interested in weapons. It was awful. There were days when he'd spend hours down at the warehouse, admiring his weapons even as he wouldn't sell them, wouldn't even touch them. Just sat there staring. I'm happy he has on day. You must. After I said that, his voice was so meek and pitiful that I felt an urge to take everything back. But then what? If I didn't draw the line, what would happen to our family? Had I not indulged his bad habits, we wouldn't have found ourselves in such a predicament. And I also don't know if he had actually come to his senses. The next thing I heard was that our warehouse had caught fire, and both...
I see. Amenoma Yuya came to purchase a weapon from Mr. Nagato. During the sale, a fire broke out.
At first, I assumed they must have gotten into an argument over the... But my husband has never been one to negotiate. He never even haggles when he's out buying groceries, so it's hard to imagine him getting into a...
Maybe he was feeling the
I don't know. Perhaps he's too... As long as he's...
Please don't get up. If but the information...
A little
Let's try a change of scene. Rest assured.
Thank you
Based on the information we've gathered so far, I can only surmise that the sales meeting between the two men was somehow... The fire at the warehouse likely played a part in how the situation unfolded. Though it's a... Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Paimon was Nope, never mind. Paimon's brain needs to rest for a while. Over to you.
An interesting explanation. Amenoma Yuya is an expert on swords. He could have noticed some Maybe he recognized a blade as a fake, or a well-known stolen item. Either way, after arguing about it, the two men agreed to hide the truth of this matter. They thought a fire would destroy everything. But then the Tenryou Commission began investigating but it's a far-fetched theory. I can't imagine how they would have been able to reach one fact, Mr. Nagato, the more I ponder it, the more... Right. Amenoma
Darn!
Let's keep going. If we can solve the case, both Mr. Amenoma and...
Okay.
Let's head out of the...
Scry the sky.
Wait, I hear something ominous in the wind.
Oh! This must be another one of those sounds that, as sketchy as that whole thing seems, you did put it to good use when we were chasing down that vision thief at Beto's tournament, so...
Now I'm picking up a strong scent in addition to the sound.
But there's nothing...
It's gone now, but I can still sense the direction. It felt very much like that ancient presence in Inazuma. Indeed. But this unexpected spring of inauspicious energy may prove to be of benefit to our investigation. We should remain vigilant and approach...
So it's an under...
The force is definite. The source of the Tatarigami energy has long since left this. Judging from the concentration, I would have to conclude that...
Mrs. Nagato said her husband used to hang around the warehouse.
It could well be that he was already under the influence of Tatarigami energy. From what I've been... But most will... Mr. Nagato had an interest in collecting to begin with. The influence of Tatari...
So what should we do now? Go down and...
Step back. I'll open the door and take a look inside. If we don't open this door, we can move no You needn't worry. Both of us have faced far greater dangers than this. What's
down there?
Everything's buried in debris. It looks like the fire caused a cave-in, reducing the entire warehouse to rubble.
That was too scary! Paimon was so sure that the...
All we can do now is keep searching in the direction that the Tatarigami... Two ordinary humans, entangled with the Tatarigami. I fear... Yes, let's go. If nothing else, it's essential that we this to your mind and focus on what you sense around you. From this point, the trail appears to split into two. The main source of the Tatarigami energy continued on into the distance, but a small portion remained here. Quite...
Whoa! Look at all those hilly churls! They're acting really strangely.
Something seems to be drawing their attention. Let's take a closer look.
this red stuff? What?
By the looks of it, a letter written on a piece of torn clothing. The ink is bone. Well, let. According to this letter, a conflict arose because Amenoma Yuya wanted to Yuya started the fire that destroyed the warehouse and wounded Mr. Nagato in the fight. Mr. Nagato kept chase as long as he could, eventually stopping here.
So...
He was not only mortally wounded, but also under the heavy influence of Tatarigami. Add to that the fact that its aura... Whatever traces there may have been of his fate beyond after this point, they've since been disturbed by the hilly churls. Yes, right now we need... If Amenoma Yuya is attacking other people indiscriminately, then the longer we take to find...
Right! So let's get moving!
I wouldn't be surprised if he, too, fell prey to the influence. For a practitioner, all the clues that... I have a hypothesis.
Wait! You figured it out? So these two...
I believe so. But it's something of an outlandish idea. I will only be able to confirm. On with the search. We must stay vigilant.
Solidify!
He seems to have stayed here for a...
Why here? Is there anything...
I'm not sure. But on closer examination, I sense that the aura may have lingered here. Show yourself! It's no use hiding any...
Kaedehara Kazuha. It's you, at last.
Aha! So it is the same guy from before! What's your problem, huh? What could you possibly have against Kazuha?
Indeed, there should be no enmity between us. It is Amenoma Yuya that stands for. But what if instead of facing Amenoma Yuya, we are in fact a blade in his hand?
Now that you mention it, it is... Whoa! Surely...
Tatarigami energy often lodges itself within physical objects, then works to subtly affect any... The blade has resided in Mr. Nagato's warehouse for many years, affecting his state of mind, and more recently using the sale as a means to affect, or rather as a means to occupy, Amenoma Yuya's body.
You're sharper than I thought. Many years ago, I was forged by a famed bladesmith of the Ishin tradition. I was his pride and joy as a descendant of the Kaedehara clan. You should be able to guess our greatest regret.
I presume it has something to do with the Raiden Gokaden.
Indeed. At that point in time, he failed to live up to the Raiden Shogun's expectations. In the end, all he could do was to flee the nation. He was a bladesmith of great renown, a master of his craft. There was nothing that he could not accomplish. And sure enough, in the end, he achieved what he had set out to do. He not only bestowed upon me the greatest of strength, but also endowed me with a consciousness of my own. In her conceit, the Raiden Shogun lost not only the single most perfect blade in the entire world, but also an irreplaceable achievement in the art of blade form.
Swords can become
The people of the time in which I was born never believed I had that kind of power. They saw me as a mere blade, a sharp and well-crafted one. But after the death of my creator, I decided to leave Snezhnaya and began my long quest to return to the distant land of Inazuma. Moving from one person to the next, I seek but one thing: to face the full force of the Raiden Shogun's blade and prove my power.
So Amenoma, you tell me, what happens to those you've possessed?
My hosts? Who cares what happens to them? When they got tired, or injured, or unusable, I hopped to the next one in line. All I needed them for was to take me back to
You're awful.
After I returned to Inazuma, I decided to bide my time in Nagato's warehouse. At long last, I'm approaching my journey's destination. By Amenoma Yuya's body, I have found you. And by Kaedehara Kazuha, you stood against the Raiden Shogun's Muso no Hitotachi. There can be no... Now, give your body over to me! Gather!
Wind Strider!
Stabilize! You should rewrite history! Solidify!
Into the wind!
You shall rewrite history! Stabilize!
Wind strike!
Do not stand in my way, or I will strike you down too!
Your bluff's fooling no one. You've lost.
Lost? I can never lose. It is this body that, even if you defeat me here, the one who falls will not be me, but this. He is but a puppet that can be replaced. I can take an. The end result is the same. I will end this wretch's life before you can lift a finger. And even if I were to lose my physical form, it is but a small set by any means necessary, and any medium of...
Your fighting style. It is indeed the forms of Ish, but from your movements, I sense only hatred and arrogance.
Really? You can tell all...
As I've mentioned before, the forms of Ishin art convey the user's thoughts and feelings. Since the blade is currently possessing Amenoma Yuya's body, its movements express the innermost thoughts of the blade. If you ask me, the mania is probably due to your desperate, single-minded ambition.
Are you trying to claim that I am helpless without you? On his deathbed, he passed to me all of Ishin Art's secrets. The little that you know barely scratches the surface. In that regard, why would I
Because all of that is in the past. I've been wondering why you've not caused more trouble in all the years that you've been in Inazuma. If you are indeed a cursed blade that can possess its owner. Now that I've seen inside your mind, everything finally makes sense. You were... After all the time that's passed, you have grown weak. To the point that you are now unable to acquire a new host.
Oh, that's right. Paimon remembers now. Mr. Nagato had a habit of never touching his collectible.
Only when Mr. Nagato witnessed his wife's distress and decided to sell his collectibles did you finally have an opportunity to reach out to Amenome Yuya and make your escape.
And what?
Well, that brings me to my second point. You were determined to fulfill your maker's ambition, whatever the cost. But this ambition is too grand and too heavy for you to bear. Each step, I think you realized your limitations long ago. The more you clenched your teeth and pressed forward, the greater your fear of losing everything you had achieved grew, and the more you wished to run from the truth. But the way I see it, what began as an ambition has long since become a...
What would you know about any of this?
You returned to Inazuma to prove the unparalleled brilliance of Ishin art, even if you were to sever that divine light. Is this truly the outcome that your maker would have desired? Sure, you inherited the secrets of Ishin. How could you possibly...
Silence! I must achieve my goal. This was his life. I will concede.
And you should face reality.
Easy for you to say. Facing reality offers me. I have no need of anything that would stand in my way. Not meditation, not self-reflection, and certainly... It is pointless to argue further, descendant of the Kai.
How stubbornly you stick to your wayward... I do not believe for a second that you can challenge the almighty Shogun in your current state. So
What? Surely you're not planning to agree to his demand.
Very well. Then once we have dealt...
And as for your end of...
Don't do this, Kazuha!
This is the only way to save Amenome Yuya. If we don't, the Cursed Blade's strength is currently very weak, and I sense he's hesitating. This suggests his heart is still not complete. The power of the Tatarigami lies in intensifying existing obsession. Even if things take a turn for the worse, we have a chance here to save an innocent victim. I am willing to accept the risks in...
Your disdain for me betrays your woeful ignorance. I agreed to this bet because there are things I wish to... Now.
Kazuha?
I felt a little dizzy at first. It's all right. So far, this was as I expected. I will.
What should we do next? Have you got a...
We find some enemies. Although this blade has endured much turmoil, it probably hasn't experienced many real fights. If a blade built for Ishin art cannot enter a state of harmony between blade and bearer, it cannot unleash. If he wants to avoid reality, then we need to fight until he has no choice but to face it. It shouldn't last long in an intense combat situation.
Wait a minute! Paimon remembers hearing about something from the adventurers. Since the Takasukasa clan abandoned that secret base, it's been held by
All right.
What about...
The blade says he'll let Amenome Yuya trail us silently. Although he hasn't regained his own consciousness.
Are we sure that... Okay, fine.
on this journey. One with nature.
You're the very height. Today.
The wind knows me. Into the wind.
How are you feeling? You okay?
I'm all right. The blade is performing largely as I expected. Having gone so long without proper use and maintenance, it's become very... Though he's making every effort to persevere, I do not think he can last much longer.
Something else on your mind?
How strange. Rather than trying to control me, let's keep going.
Let's get down to business.
One with nature.
How's
Time to go.
It's my lucky day.
The wind knows me. As one with wind and cloud.
Whoa! Something's up with the blade!
I can sense that his strength is slowly fading away. The blade is becoming more and more difficult for me to wield. He cannot hold out much longer. If he keeps persisting...
But what would that do to Amanome Yuya?
I will be careful with it. He also says he does not have any plans to give up easily. He's still trying to achieve... The wind knows me. Into the wind.
I'm ready.
The wind knows me.
Are you okay? It looked like you were really struggling the entire...
Yes. And it looks like he's reached his limit.
The sheen's grown a bit dimmer again. It doesn't look anywhere near as impressive as it did...
Perhaps this time, we'll finally have a chance to see his true form.
True form? What are you... Is this the same blade as before? It looks like a piece of junk!
If you choose to continue in the state you're in, you wouldn't even be able to beat Samurai and Kairagi, much less the almighty Shogun. Maybe you did truly wield power to rival the Shogun's light when first forged. But the long journey from Snezhnaya back to Inazuma has left you battered and... It barely needs dating anymore. Your ambition is a flight of fancy. I've finally figured out why it was that you agreed to my bet. You wanted to reach a state of harmony with me. For perhaps then you would still be able to... But regrettably, we are nothing alike. I will never understand your obstinate cruelty. The only one who truly understood you had already passed.
Here they are! Take them down!
Where do they keep coming from? Yup, we can help this.
Don't worry, I'll use my own blade. It's just more of the same.
It's my lucky day.
Let me try my blade.
Into the wind! The wind knows me. Time to go. Into the wind.
You win this battle.
You fought way better with your own sword.
You are a true Kaedehara in flesh and in spirit. Though we fought briefly together, you have seen me for who I really am. No one knew anything of my story throughout my travels, nor did I tell it to anyone. I thought that if I could achieve Ishin harmony with you, perhaps there would still be a...
But in this too, you have failed.
Indeed. No matter how hard I tried, I could not attain that perfect harmony that your personal... Too much time has passed. Yours...
Actually, forging and maintenance are both important for a blade, but they are not. This blade has traveled the land with me for many years, and we have formed a close bond during that time. Plus, in the moment, skill. There is something else, Tatarigami. Though you tried, I resisted. I feel a great... The moment you have known.
He gave me... How could I... I said...
Aww.
I believe our bet is now settled.
Where are you going, Kazuha?
He now has neither the ability nor the motivation to cause further harm. When I touched the hilt for the first time, it's as if I was transported to a strange dimension. A bladesmith lay quietly on the bed, his frail face barely visible under the moonlight. His breaths were... A newly forged blade lay by his side, listening attentively.
Wow.
Indeed. He spent the rest... He felt intense regret at being tricked by the Fatui, but he could never again return to his homeland. His sole wish was to one day return his single, proudest creation back to the land of his... So he instructed this sentient blade to find a way back to Inazuma, no matter how long or how... All he wanted to show was that they once shone brilliant.
So, what happened?
Right. This Yes. Time would... He seems to...
When I look back at the past, I can remember the day of my forging like it was just yesterday. I once told him that I would pay any price to fulfill his wishes. Such was the debt But darkness and slaughter numbed the mind. Over time, I lost... Not only did I...
You are finally seeing...
Since we agreed, but I still... So...
Hey!
It has to be done. My physical form...
His attitude has... What do you think, Kazuha?
Let's hear it.
Thank you all. Alas, nor have I... My fights were... You are a...
Oh?
I will release Amenoma Yuya and restore his consciousness. Perhaps after that, you must have plenty of reasons to both hate me and desire...
Understood. Then let's start by waking him up and seeing if he has the step...
I see. He used my body. I utterly despise him and his actions. But since he stayed true to your agreement by releasing me, he must still have some remaining semblance of honor. If a duel can help to set this state of affairs in order, I am willing to put myself... I do not wish to be a mere victim.
There's no need to worry. We'll vouch for your innocence to the Tenryo Commission.
Thanks for your help. Who knows how this would have ended without your...
All right, then let's move. More Ronin could appear. In any case,
This reminds Paimon a bit of the Crux Clash. Yep, we still can't let our guard down. Still, are you ready?
ready? Okay. Successor of Ishin art, Kaidahara Kazuha.
Successor of Amenoma art.
Honored to cross blades with you.
It is my honor also.
One with nature. That hurts. Into the wind. One with nature. Cloud high. The bird. Wind no.
Thank you for the experience. Although he appears battered and broken. In your hands, it seems he's regained a glimmer of his sense of savage cruelty has completely faded away. But that same sense of determination remains strong.
You also fought well. I'm sure he relished the experience. There are a few things that I shall leave him.
I must apologize to you for all that has transpired.
You need not seek my forgiveness. Nor do I have the right to forgive you on your victim's behalf. It is too late for all.
I do not wish for forgiveness. I only hope that you will see my transgressions as mine alone, and not let them stain the legacy of Ishin art. I strayed far from the straight and narrow path, but the Ishin art still... I beseech...
Yes.
Thank you.
This blade has also told me that he has another wish. He would like to visit the Amenoma smithy. Maybe we can go back there together.
What? To go...
I'm not sure, but I think...
There's something in the air. Something that tells me a new case is brewing.
Did I report this to my superiors?
It's Yuya! You have returned!
I am sorry to have troubled you. It's all thanks to them that I was able to return safely.
A prized Ishin blade, turned weapon that controls the human mind. Considering their forging philosophy, this was indeed within the realm of possibility. This is a great pity. But I have some Tansango detective that they've found Mr. Nagato.
Really? Is he okay?
Yes, badly wounded, but he will live. And now that Yuya is back, it seems like the final ending to this story is a happy one after all.
I think I know what you want to do.
What's wrong, Kazuha? Is the blade whispering in your ear?
Yes. He said he wants to take control of...
What? No way! Hasn't it?
He tells me that he's thought of another way to fulfill his maker's wish. And he assures me that he won't use my body for anything nefarious. I have decided...
But... Guess there's nothing we can say to change your mind, huh?
Thank you. I will explain my reasons later. Okay. I am ready. Let us begin.
My power is almost spent. Without him, my eventual demise is inevitable. But if I abandon the future to give everything I have in this moment, my physical form can be forged anew.
Everything? You mean...
Yes, the cost is my entire consciousness. You were right. There's nothing that I can accomplish now. But there's still a chance for Ishin art. Once remade, I will be a valuable resource for your studies. Ishin lives on, and its finest hour is yet to come. Even if I am not the one to prove its might to the Shogun, as long as it is an Ishin blade, crafted by Kaedehara hands, it will still fulfill his final wish. Thank you, son of the Kaedehara clan. Over the years, my real name has been forgotten by all. I'm ashamed to utter it, yet it remains strong in my mind. Kagotsurube Ishin. This name is now yours to keep.
Rest in peace.
So, that's why he said his consciousness will disappear forever after...
Kagotsurube Ishin. It seems like deep down he disapproved of his own actions. Only in the final moments.
Seems like...
The same fervent ambition, speaking for myself. I understand. Hearing your quest to face the god after everything.
Oh,
I will continue to support you from this point on.
wait!
Oh, and it's also...
My intuition tells me that something very interesting is about to happen.
The Tenryou Commission...
Wow, you...
Then we needn't recount all the details again. Now, as to your earlier offer, I wish to give you my answer.
What's this?
Kagotsurube Ishin. A weapon crafted by means of a series of fortuitous events, I was able to recover and restore him. I also promised him that I will continue to study and pass on the secrets of Ishin art. And so, it looks like I will likely continue with my journey across the nations.
I see.
The Kaedehara clan has always been a family of bladesmiths, so it is only were I to accept your goodwill, I may find myself embroiled in conflicts between the shogunate and Sangonomiya.
You
I am aware.
Very well. I can... However, if...
Great.
Where will you travel to next?
I'll probably take to... As for my next destination, let's see where the wind takes me.
You must have a whole bunch of questions after our last conversation with Nahida. Paimon was ready to ask her a million more questions, but didn't want to seem too pushy. Like, about these descenders. So, does that just mean people like you who come traveling to Teyvat from someplace else? And as for your sister... Whew, so many questions. Let's go find Nahida and see what else we can find out.